The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southwest.
When you're near the top of the standings, every match is the biggest match of the season. This one, though, is huge. Number 3 San Antonio FC hosts number 1 Real Monarchs SLC. Next. For much of the summer, two clubs have jockeyed for the top spot in the United Soccer League, and tonight their paths collide on a steamy July Saturday here at Toyota Field. It's San Antonio FC welcoming in Real Monarchs SLC, and we have it for you here on Fox Sports Southwest. Thanks so much for joining us. Along with former U.S. national team midfielder Christopher Sullivan, I'm Dan Weiss. It's great to have you with us. Well, for 4 months, Christopher, we have heard about San Antonio FC and Real Monarchs SLC going back and forth for the number 1 overall spot in the USL. They've taken very different paths to these record-setting openings of the season. How have both of these clubs gotten to where they are?
It really is impressive when you look at both teams right here. You always want to gauge and measure yourself against a top team. And Real Monarchs are hitting on all cylinders at this point. And I think that it'll be very important today to be able to play a complete game where they're savvy managing the flow of the game.
And we take a look at our tale of the tape between these two teams coming up here for tonight, and a contrast of styles, no doubt about it. San Antonio FC, their bread and butter is defense. Real Monarchs SLC likes to get up the field.
Yeah, and I think that does a disservice to San Antonio FC when you look at their ability to manage the flow of the game and also initiate the energy. But when you look at 40 goals in 17 games, 22% conversion rate, very impressive indeed. And also that's a team that blends their attacks, the entry passes, the movements, the coordination, the choreography, the patterns of play. So obviously a tough task tonight, but I think that San Antonio matches extremely well against this high potent Real Monarchs.
I said at the top that for much of the summer, 2 clubs have vied for the top spot in the USL, but now San Antonio FC has fallen back into 3rd in the Western Conference table thanks to 7 straight wins by Swope Park Rangers. San Antonio FC does have their game in hand tonight, so this is a big matchup for them.
Yeah, and obviously you see that teams, they get familiar with your patterns of play, how you play, your personnel individually and collectively, but this is a long season, and you look at the continuity, and for Darren Powell, he's done extremely well. I look for a fantastic match tonight.
Well, for San Antonio FC, we said that defense has been their MO for much of the season, and it's 2 guys, Christopher, that you really look at to pull the wagon. Sebastian Ibeagha on the back 4, and then the captain, the holding midfielder, Michael Reed, has been really impressive for San Antonio FC this year.
Absolutely. I think that these 2 are important, fundamental. The catalyst, Michael Reed, to control the balance, facilitating the movements of the play, getting into attack. And Ibeagha has been outstanding, superior. When you look at 117 clearances, league leading, this player will be important and be called upon tonight.
Ibeagha has played every single minute this season for San Antonio FC. He's the only player that has done that. Meanwhile, for Real Monarchs SLC, you figure it's a player on the attack that we'll focus on tonight. Chandler Hoffman, 26-year-old. He's 3rd in the USL with 11 goals, but also they have an interesting player on their back end tonight, James Moberg, who's a converted midfielder.
Yeah, converted midfielder, and I think that's a brilliant move when you see this player. He's kind of Pirlo-esque in the way that he played at University of Washington under Jamie Clark, but he's sitting in as a traditional libero player. And, he might get caught with speed and might not make the next level when you look at the speed defensively to recover. But this player can facilitate. He could distribute the ball out of the back, and I think a wonderful goal scorer there in Hoffman.
When I talked to Darren Powell yesterday, he told me that the longer we can keep this team at 0, the better I feel about this game. What are your expectations for tonight?
Well, I think they have to take a page out of the book when they played Phoenix FC and came out shot like hanging. You come out of the gates flying with a high energy, not matching the energy, actually setting the energy in the tempo of the game will be very important.
San Antonio FC welcomed more than 8,000 last Friday night against OKC Energy FC, the 2nd largest crowd here at Toyota Field. You expect the building will be rocking again tonight. We'll take a look at our starting 11s for both sides and have kickoff from Toyota Field when we return after this.
Cake, we've got milk.
There's no time. Do you have hot dogs?
On the grill and in the pack.
Chips?
All kinds.
Ice cream?
Loads of flavors.
Drinks?
Hundreds of choices.
Okay, and wine?
Yeah. Wait, wine?
Yeah, that's for me. Thanks so much!
Corner Store has over 50 icy cold drinks for just 99 cents. From energy and sport to tea and soda. More than Valero, we're Corner Store.
Look for the silver door, Timmy.
All right, here we go.
Timmy!
What is this place? Welcome to the Spurs Retirement Club. This is nice.
Here we have all-you-can-eat H-E-B Prime 1 steaks.
Awesome. And here's your monogram steak, sir. Cooked to perfection.
Plus,
Yeah.
It needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action. San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
Not the time to say any of this mushy garbage. You know what? I'm going for it. You are completely, utterly
Awesome. I'm glad you showed up.
in my life.
I think I'm about to cry. You better not.
Every single time I get down, you always have my back. It's really hard to describe. It's like all these tiny little things. Yes. Actually, friendship.
Soccer fans everywhere have waited 4 months for this matchup, and it has finally arrived here at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC welcoming the Real Monarchs SLC for the first of 2 matchups this season and just the second matchup ever between these 2 clubs. Along with Christopher Sullivan and our entire Fox Sports Southwest crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Good to have you along with us here as we expect a good one between these 2 teams. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for both sides tonight. Starting with San Antonio FC, they roll out the same 11 tonight that they did last Friday against OKC Energy FC. And Christopher, when you talk about San Antonio FC, you really start with Diego Restrepo, now 6-1-4, his record on the season. And he's the leader in the Golden Glove category in the USL through mid-season.
Absolutely, .45 against goals. But I'm looking at that midfield, Dan, when I see Vega, Reed, Castillo, the Rumbo in midfield, that's going to keep the balance on both ways. The defending
Real Monarchs SLC. We mentioned Chandler Hoffman in the number 9 spot up top. Connor Sparrow is their goalkeeper. He's 7-1, 23-year-old, was drafted by Real Salt Lake back in 2016. And an interesting mix of veterans and young players for this group.
Absolutely well blended. The way that they interchange in the combination play, but also when they need to be ruthless, when they need to cross and vary the patterns of play. Exceptionally well-coached team here and very dangerous, obviously scoring 40 goals.
Real Salt Lake is the parent club of Real Monarchs SLC. Let's take a look at our Methodist Healthcare injury report tonight, and it's still a pretty sizable list with Matt Cardone, Pekka, and Miguel Salazar, who've been out for quite some time, and a couple of newcomers added to that list. Ben Noonan, who's missed the last couple of games, and Sean Chin, also out tonight with a lower body injury. Diego Restrepo, we mentioned, he is the leading candidate right now for the Golden Glove Award with that .45 goals against average, 7 clean sheets, and just 5 goals allowed as he makes his 12th start of the season tonight for San Antonio.
Absolutely, and he reads the play extremely well, the positional sense, the way he commands the box, but those point-blank, quick cat-like reactions have been important. And when your team's not scoring or generating the goals that you need, you got to be steady in the back, and he's been phenomenal.
I talked to him yesterday training, and you talk about the back four, they hate conceding goals, but this guy hates conceding goals. And San Antonio FC went to the 4th minute of stoppage time last Friday. Crazy off back those last Friday. Here we are, Mendoza, our center referee, and we are underway from Toyota Field, again along with Christopher Sullivan and our entire Fox Sports Southwest crew. Dan Weiss, pleasure to have you along on this Saturday night. It is week 18 of the USL season, and it is a matchup of two of the best teams in the USL this year. San Antonio FC at 10-1 and 6, third in the league in wins and points with 35 and a plus 18 goal differential, as an early Kyle Karinga down the pitch here for here momentarily. Karinga with a shove, and then
and you could hear the fans because they've seen it on the big screen, and the reaction says it all. I mean, I don't, maybe he's watching too much football where you see the flopping or diving, but that's horrendous.
As we'll get another look at it.
He's going to initiate it right here. He gives a little shove. The risk.
I mean,
goes down.
I know the center referee probably didn't see this because it was behind the play, but man, that is about as to its sportsmanlike conduct if you're going to want to go that far. Hard to press that much more, I guess. We'll see what happens, but kind of an interesting start to this matchup here tonight. And now Karinga is being brought over by, again, our center referee tonight, Rosendo Mendoza. And along with Billy Forbes as well, they'll have a conversation. Well, that's a way to kind of get the hype going. I guess we've waited 4 months for these teams to get together. This is how we start.
Absolutely. Well, the margins are so small that you're looking for in particular.
San Antonio FC's marks Real Monarchs SLC at 14-2-1. They're 5-2-1 away from Rio Tinto Stadium in Salt Lake City. They're outscoring the opposition 40-17. Their 40 goals are second most in the league, only to the expansion club Reno 1868, which has 41. We'll see how San Antonio FC approaches the game tonight. Watching yesterday in training on the San Antonio FC, they were playing very narrow. And this is a team that when they counter, they go outside tier 20 yards on the
sometimes change access of the field, if you will. But obviously, the day before the game, they rehearse and choreograph their movements to goal, the recovery run, sprinting back. I've watched that with Darren Powell in San Antonio FC. Very impressive. And not only the patterns of play, but the intuition and the chemistry, because he stayed with the same lineup throughout, for a good 80%, a good chunk of this season.
Cesar Elizondo, who has not appeared for San Antonio FC now in a couple of months. He's only featured in 8 matches this season. He is on the bench. He is available to play tonight, and that is a good sign, hopefully, for his return to number 9, but eventually at one point would be a great boost to San Antonio FC's attack. As Jacob looks for this ball in the box and worked away by the man Kyle Karinga, who was down on the pitch momentarily.
Yeah, really fantastic start, but Jakwa comes in, pressures Moberg, wasn't comfortable, releases the ball in poor form, and there's that little quick flick on right from Castillo. Wonderful little angled slashing run for both front runners coming out of the back.
San Antonio FC will have the first corner of the match. Again, just underway in this one as the sun's still settling in here on the western horizon. As this in-swing comes to the top of the 6, headed down, Connor Sparrow reach out to grab his first ball of the night. Sparrow's Made the last 2 starts for Real Monarchs SLC. Numbers for him as well, with 3 clean sheets and only 6 goals conceded for him this year too.
I think these are important goals right here.
Very physical beginning. Very gamesmanship type of beginning to this one, kind of what you expect for the top 2
Yeah, absolutely.
clubs.
You see an angled intervention there from Greg Cochran, and he comes through the midfield. Quick combination, but the call goes away for San Antonio FC. I like the pressure, pinning in the back 4, not allowing the entry passes to build and exit out of the back, making it complicated for Real Monarchs.
2 teams have had historic runs this season. San Antonio FC, a 14-game unbeaten streak to begin the year, the 4th best season in USL history, and Real Monarchs SLC ran off 9 straight wins, outscoring their opposition 27-9. That was the in the US 14 night. Rafa Castillo delivers into the area. This one is headed out of play.
Again, great ball, targeted, earmarked for that back post. You had 3 at the top of the box right there. Good here. San Antonio FC not being damaged at all with any type of off balance or anything. They seem like they're intact, they're cohesive, they're spreading out and not allowing Real Monarchs to get that early rhythm that they like to establish.
The last time a top scorer came to Toyota Field, it was all the way back in April when Kelly and Reno 1868 visited, and they were held to a 0 on the scoreboard. Of course, Dan Kelly's got 13 goals this year, second in the league in scoring, with Chandler Hoffman, again wearing 49 tonight, pacing right behind him this year. The Real Monarchs team that more comfortable at and Forbes watches the flag go up across the field, and the offside infraction against San Antonio FC. But my point again, Christopher, here on the road, Real Monarchs SLC, only 13 of their 40 goals come away from Salt Lake City.
Absolutely. There's a few reasons, as we see Mark Briggs here. One, they play in altitude, so it's very difficult for USL sides to come in there and cope with the altitude in Salt Lake City, particularly playing them at home. So generally speaking, the energy drops in the second half. Many teams have pulled off them, and I think when we see the coach right now, who's done an incredible job putting together a team and using that conveyor belt of players coming from the first team down. 2 of those players are not here today, Velasquez and Bofo Salcedo. But the last 2 games they've played have been against academy sides and OKC that played way below the level. So I think this will be a much tougher challenge.
Brody going out top. Here's Charlie Adams as he gives it a go wide. Going back to Mark Briggs, he was not expected to be in this position at the start of the season.
That's right.
Mike Pecky was brought on to be the head coach of Real Monarchs SLC, and after 1 week of play in the USL, Pecky was promoted to the first side with Real Salt Lake, and Mark Briggs ended up becoming the head coach. And he's done exceptionally well. Yeah.
In fact, Mike Pecky and in our group were working together in radio, and he jumped over as a USL coach, and in quick fashion he was taken over. But he did a fantastic job in New York Red Bulls. Was let go, so I think he's to tremendous players that have played in University of Washington, players that have played in Louisville, and they put together a nice chemistry as well.
And Briggs is, I think, an ideal candidate because he's a young guy himself. He's only 35, and in fact, his assistant coach is Mark Glazer, who's 31. Yeah.
31, yeah.
So 2 guys in their really infancy of their coaching careers having a great for Real Monarchs SLC. As there's James Bober coming over to make his first touch on the ball over there. Bober, converted defender in that Washington program. He's playing in the center back spot alongside Mike Gallagher. They were teammates together at University of Washington.
And I covered him for years. I think as a midfield player, very good midfield player. I think it could work when you're playing
It's July in South Texas, so hot and dry.
Texas
That's how
heat.
we go.
Texas heat, baby. Well, actually, you know, the last 5 minutes, this has been really the first spell or sequence that we're seeing Real Monarchs coming into the game, right? They're starting to push San Antonio FC back, and you have to be careful if you give them too much momentum. These pendulum swings within the game could be very dangerous. Now you got 6-7 at the top of the area. Obviously, he's going to target and earmark that ball right at the penalty spot in between Diego.
Good delivery by Adams.
A little too heavy. Overcooked it.
Hopefully doesn't do the Thanksgiving turkey.
Well, you know, I mean, you got to look at the opportunities that you have, and they've been extremely good on corner, standard situations, set pieces, very well-rounded team. But again, I think part of the difficulty when I see the disparate defensive shape of Real Monarchs are these runs into the attacking third.
Cochran is going to get under this one here. Forbes across.
What a ball.
And it doesn't connect, although Tierpak will get back to it. To the outside, Hedrick trying to step forward. And
yeah, you got to be precise there and playing to the feet. But that ball into the corner to Cochran, phenomenal. Absolutely. I love the way this team plays, San Antonio FC. I love the way they're coached. I love the movement from the back players. You got to be careful here.
Well, the structure for San Antonio FC is that was nearly a handball. We'll play forward here for Real Monarchs SLC. The structure in the defensive third of the field for San Antonio FC has been the best in the USL all year, and it's evidenced in the goals conceded, only 8 allowed, and the clean sheets 10. I mean, it is so hard to break through this club, and when they're on their game defensively, even for one of the best offensive teams in the league, they at times too can look disjointed.
Yeah, because I think what they actually do is not just how they defend. I love the way they go from this offsides right here, a defensive phase into the attacking phase immediately. High octane, lightning fast. And, you know, you saw McCarthy right there with a ball that played into the corner to Cochran. It was a 45-yard, 50-yard ball. Phenomenal. And then Billy Forbes is coming in on an angle in the interior, and they have that rehearsed, choreographed pattern of play. Love to see that.
And where you see the wind blowing right now, it is going upfield for San Antonio FC, so those balls will be a little bit tougher in the second half to play from the back end. AJ Ajaquid nearly capitalizing early in this match, just hitting the bar, and he gives San Antonio FC the opening goal.
And I think based on the way that they initiated and started this game, as you see Reed pulling back in between the two defenders, right, to start as a classic number 6 or contention, we've seen Real Monarchs pull from 3 up top to 2 up top. They're playing with only 2 up top. Great first-time ball here.
Off the turnover, though, Billy Forbes has 3 collapse on him. This has been a heavy possession game for San Antonio FC. Better than 50% of the possession in their favor here so far against the Real Monarchs SL team that really is possession heavy by trade, as you would expect. Forbes, good challenge there, takes it away from Moberg. Billy out top, Vega gives it a go! 1-0, San Antonio FC.
And what a sweet-tasting golazo for Vega. One of the things that we highlighted, the blueprint of putting pressure on Moberg. Moberg trying to play out of the back, gets stripped, dispossessed right here. Presence of mind to angle this ball. Great first touch right here, disguising that far post. Low, fantastic finishing, wonderful hit. Again, Moberg trying to dribble out of a defensive position. He's not a center back. He got exposed. Great little link up right there. Vega pulling away, opening up his hips to send the keeper to his left, disguising like Ronaldinho Gaucho. Golazo.
3rd goal this season for the 18-year-old Devin Vega in the 28th minute, with Billy Forbes collecting his 5th assist and his team-leading 19th point. San Antonio FC gets that all-important first goal as they lead 1-0 on Real Monarchs SLC. But SLC back on the attack upfield. Ibiaga with the clearance.
Again, the first time we highlighted Billy Forbes, we talked about that he's different than just an instinctive scorer. Why? He could link up, and he has the vision. He could play complementing with the players that are trailing out of midfield, and that was a phenomenal little angle pass back. Great goal.
Big collision between Moberg and Ajekwa as Moberg hits the pitch. Rosendo Mendoza comes over. A quick word for AJ Ajekwa here after that challenge. Going back to the goal by Vega, I'm not even sure he got it all on the strike either. He was a little off balance too, coming back over to his right, but enough power behind it.
Absolutely. Even if he kind of mishit it a little bit, what he did was open up his hips, and that sent the keepers. Sparrow went over to his left, and he was able to redirect it low, disguised it.
San Antonio FC has scored the first goal now in 15 games this year. They're 10-0-1. And getting the opening marker, the only blemish was last Friday against OKC Energy FC.
You see wonderful work there from Ajekwa. Even though he wasn't able to retain possession right there, though, they understand the patterns of play to link up there. Oh, this might be a penalty.
And it will be.
Yep.
Fouled in the area was Chandler Hoffman. And we'll get a penalty for Real Monarchs SLC here. Nibiaga got him just inside the 18-yard line.
Yeah, let's take a look again here. Ibiaga is so close. He's a little bit off. And there's the time. I think he's outside the area, to be fair. A little bit harsh. Center ref is right, 5 yards away on the call. Entry pass, great little run at an angle from Hoffman.
Well, San Antonio FC faced a penalty last Friday against OKC Energy FC. They did not concede, but now here's one of the best goal scorers in USL, Chandler Hoffman, in the 31st minute, trying to nail the equalizer. $11 goals this season for Hoffman. After 14 a year ago, playing in Louisville City against the best keeper this year in USL play, Diego Restrepo. Hoffman, and we're tied at 1.
Great finish. Ice in the veins, and you see this really pumps up and invigorates the bench and the coaching staff of Real Monarchs. On the other side, Darren Powell's got to be frustrated because commanding performance. You can see him yelling, why do you give up such an easy situation right there when you're in command? You've gone ahead, you're generating constant attacks, you're up 1-0, and then you give a penalty.
Left-footed Hoffman went to the
well-placed
right side.
Yep, and I like the speed as he approaches. Short approach right there, quick. Great conviction. Cool as a cucumber.
Here's the penalty again. You make the call whether it's inside the 18-yard line or not.
I think it's just outside the 18 for me, but it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and obviously it wasn't necessary to clip him as he arrived late.
Forbes, boy, what a swing in momentum after San Antonio FC had grabbed the opening goal. As Billy is upended.
This should be a card because he split the two. Great little change of pace and transfers in between. Wonderful slalom from Forbes. And you see that he's on, not only orchestrating the initial goal for Vega, but time and time again, he's taking players on and beating them. Good little pause, hesitation, a little half scissor, and drags the ball through.
Billy pointing up, saying that's twice.
That's twice. Well, it should be a yellow card.
Instead, it's a free kick for San Antonio FC here. Dangerous spot, though. Edge of the area.
Yeah, you got a double-edged sword here. You can have an in-swinger from Reed. You also have Rafa Castillo here with the left.
Right-footed Reed. Parried away there by Connor Sparrow climbing the ladder.
Wonderful ball.
Castillo by the corner stick. This one got away from him, trying to go across. 34th minute at Toyota Field. Devin Vega opening the scoring with his 3rd goal of the season in the 28th minute on a terrific play by Billy Forbes, who created a turnover, and then Vega with the finish. Chandler Hoffman moments ago in the 32nd minute with his 12th goal of the season on the penalty conceded by San Antonio FC.
Well, there's a flip side of the coin to look at, what you talked about, the pendulum swing of momentum after conceding the 2nd goal. I think he keeps you on your front foot for San Antonio.
Forbes again right back into the area. He doesn't do well with this one. San Antonio FC is back at Toyota Field Saturday, August the 5th. Kickoff set for 7:30. Tickets start at just $10. Visit sanantoniofc.com or call 4445-MLS for more information. Let's look at Michael Reed. 15 appearances this season, wearing the armband this year as the captain for San Antonio.
Yep, he's been impressive.
He's done a great job this year. His excellent leadership, the 29-year-old who's been on championship clubs.
Box to box, right? But going back to Darren Powell, yeah, you don't want to be in his seat because now he's upset, he's frustrated. But quite frankly, being up here, I think that it keeps you hungry. It keeps you looking for that winning goal. And so over 90 minutes, I think this actually could be a blessing in disguise, if you believe it or not.
McCarthy lost his footing but did well to stay with the ball, prevented from going back upfield for Real Monarchs SLC. And you think about it for San Antonio FC, they really should have 2 on the board at this point.
Absolutely.
Too. And you go back to the miss by Ajekwa early on in the match. And 2 goals for San Antonio FC really has been something of a luxury as of late.
Sure.
Only 5 goals over their last 6 matches coming into play tonight.
I'd like to see Tierpak get a little more involved, varying his runs, a little more diagonal, coming into the interior like we saw in the last match we did against Phoenix.
Nice job there stepping forward by Chase Minner, who came on the 22nd minute in place of Andrew Brody. Tierpak. Michael Gallagher played in the Seattle Sounders Academy. Upfield, Lakowecki.
Well done.
2 collapsed on Hoffman, and
Hedrick comes back, closes that down. They're squeezing, and again, the transition game, finding all the angles through the midfield.
Hedrick, why they're playing this interior of the midfield real well here in the first half.
Great turn.
Ajekwa tucked from behind. And he goes down in the area. No foul awarded this time. Tierpak.
Yeah, this one, that's what I was talking about. Tierpak hitting the midfield right there. But again, this is where I think there's a mismatch and could be capitalized. That turn right there, great little half rhythm. You see tug of the shirt, doesn't get called or picked up, but great explosive acceleration out of that top area and good entry pass as well.
That was Moberg, by the way, we highlighted at the top, that came over and closed off Ajekwa before he could get one final touch on the ball. So we talked about the team that would score first, and in this case, San Antonio FC did, and how that would change the approach for both sides, but now you get the equalizing goal on a penalty, and you're back to square one almost.
Square one, but it keeps you hungry. It keeps you on your feet. It makes you, look for the winner. And we haven't seen huge swings as far from San Antonio FC. There's been incredible consistency. I think that they're actually playing a more commanding game than they played against Phoenix FC, the game we did on May 20th 2 months ago. More methodical and a better thought process in keeping the ball in possession.
Haber. Play it out wide. Some organization for Real Monarchs SLC in the final third of the field, which really has not been very apparent in this first half. Lakowecki swings it to the top of the area.
Done. Fantastic from McCarthy. And for me, it's going to come down to the speed mismatch. When you look at Billy Forbes, great challenge right here. And Ajekwa up top with the 2, on the cuff in between, slashing in between Moberg and Gallagher. There's a speed advantage and a mobility advantage as well. Can you get scored upon and concede? Absolutely. You know, but this is a game that these are the type of games that you want to be in.
Karsten Hanlon got away with a handball momentarily, and then he might have gotten away with a foul on Rafa Castillo there, as it allows possession to stay here with Real Monarchs SLC's Chandler Hoffman.
Great ball again. The same entry pass into, you see Chandler Hoffman's very good. He's got good feet. He's supple, agile as well, slipping balls in between, and he's able to capitalize in picking up on fouls. This one doesn't get called.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com or following them on Twitter at USL. As we cross into the 40th minute, along with Christopher Sullivan and our entire crew, Dan Weiss from Toyota Field. Number 1, Real Monarchs SLC, 43 points. Number 3, San Antonio FC in the Western Conference table, 35 points back. So these are 3 very, very key points, because in San Antonio FC's mind, if Real Monarchs SLC comes away with 3 points tonight, that's an 11-point gap between them and the top spot. Would be very difficult to try to come back.
Yeah, it's like a 6-point swing, right? If you will, in a sense. A big opportunity. But again, if you're playing in the process, look at the pressure right here on the keeper. Let's see if they can recover this.
Kept alive by Minter. Back to Karinga.
Great ball.
It's Darren Powell motioning for his club to get back. This one will get through Tierpak to the outside. Lakawecki. And Ibiaga, what he does the best, clearance away from danger.
See offsides here. A little lack of cohesion and coordination between the midfielders. Rafa Castillo and Vega dropping off, not intact and in line along with Tierpak and Reed.
Minter into the inside. Delivered deep, and this one away from Daniel Haber. I talked to Darren Powell yesterday for a little bit. I said, does it matter in terms of positioning, top 4 for you? You know, and he's kind of slowed me down, and he said, you know, our goal is, especially coming off your first season when you don't make the playoffs, our goal is just to make the playoffs.
Sure.
And we'll attack everything else, a home field advantage spot, a division or a conference championship spot, after we secure that first goal. Cochran, great ball from Forbes. Tierpak on the opposite end.
I love the way he swings his body around to his left on the first touch. Again, they're so quick on the way they attack. I was joking with Coach Powell before the game and said, you know, I know that you're telling them you're calm and it's just another game. Then I got animated and act like how he really is with the players. He said exactly, which was hysterical. It was incredibly funny because, you know, obviously you want to play it down, but the way the team has responded and come out, I'm extremely impressed.
And here's an opportunity for Billy Forbes. Trying to find a space.
Yep. And just not on the same page. I mean, it was great little creativity and improvisation right there from Billy Forbes, but you have to look to anticipate what might he do. I like the way that he's played. I mean, he's gotten the ball half a dozen to a dozen times. He's slashing. He's putting players in good positions. He's slalomed in between the defenders. He's got them thinking and actually on their heels.
Billy Forbes scored 6 goals in the first 7 matches of the season for San Antonio FC. He went through an extended goal drought after having not scored since the visit to Portland at the end of April. And then he scored in the friendly against Santos Laguna 2 Saturdays ago here at Toyota Field. Even though it was a friendly, it kind of, I think, changed Billy's confidence a little bit. And he comes up with a big first goal last Friday against OKC Energy FC. And I agree with you. I think he's been exceptionally engaged in the first half of this match.
But I think one of the best ways to defend against a team that's, you know, high scoring, potent in attack like Real Monarchs SLC with 40 goals is you got to have your attackers really put them on their heels, throw them off, you know, and be top heavy, pressure the way they have. So they've definitely contributed. Can't say enough about Rafa Castillo in the first 15-20 minutes, but they got to make sure that they get that chemistry right along with Reed.
Haber delivers one into the box. Ibiaga the clearance. Sounds like a broken record, but that's what he has done all year. And now Ibiaga once again with it at his feet. Near giveaway though, pressure. It'll turn into it's like a corner, you'd say. See what their corner, a throw in there on the opposite side. It was close by the corner stick. It'll be a throw in.
But I think a lot was going through the mind of Ibiaga there. You know, thin processing after giving a penalty. Didn't want to take a risk. 43rd minute.
And Lakawecki will throw again. Nice job by Tierpak. Poor giveaway though. Although Castillo making some ends, takes it away from Adams. Here's the counter. Connor Sparrow had come out to eye Billy Forbes' run and will end up with the ball. Stephen McCarthy. Ibiaga. He'll get it back from Hedrick. McCarthy. Vega. And a little bit beyond AJ Ajayekwa's run this time.
I think the quality the last 5-10 minutes from San Antonio, you know, those vertical linear runs that we're seeing and just lack of accuracy and precision on those passes to link up. You're starting to see a little more aggressive composition and posture as well from Real Monarchs, pressing instead of 2/3 of the field, 3/4 of the field the last few minutes, thinking that maybe they might be able to nick one before the break.
Just 1 minute of stoppage time added here in what's been a relatively clean first half.
Yep.
Kyle Karinga, though, has been booed every time he's touched the ball since his antics in the opening minute. Haber does well to stay with the ball.
Well done from Reed.
Nice job, though, by Michael Reed. Knocked it aside from Karsten Hanlon.
And I think Vega and Castillo have to be a little closer in the neighborhood or vicinity, if you will, closer in front of Reed these last few minutes before they come in on the break. Make sure they keep the cohesion because they're, it is a yellow.
Tierpak flew about 4 yards, and the caution will go up on Michael Gallagher.
I see Gallagher arrives late. He's going to be booked clearly, and you can see the frustration of a few of the players here. Ibiaga is that full speed, the little half rhythm, that great touch that, you know, open, attacking, high octane players love to make, and he's just able to time that quick flick like Maradona did for so many years. And obviously he's fully exposed with his inside foot.
Tierpak no worse for wear, which is important. Michael Gallagher, the 22-year-old, is handed the yellow card. That is his 3rd this season.
And if you remember about 15-20 minutes ago, it was Ajayekwa that spun, you know, with that great mobile turn and explosive acceleration into the area. It was against Gallagher. So now that he's carrying a yellow, look for that in the second half to exploit that opportunity.
Maybe one final try for San Antonio FC here, but we'll play it short, and we'll seem to let the final seconds of the first half come to a conclusion. We've reached halftime at Toyota Field. Devin Vega got San Antonio FC off and running in the 28th minute with his 3rd goal of the season, but Chandler Hoffman equalizes. And at halftime, we are tied at 1 on at Toyota Field here on Fox Sports Southwest.
They start so small, but bring big life changes. They are now your entire world. And that's why buying a home, protecting your assets, and setting up your family's future requires the right planning and expertise. Your cargo is precious, and your journey is just beginning. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
Sometimes the best searches are done without hashtags. Toyota Tundra. Built here, lives here.
Right now, qualified lessees can lease a fun and capable new 2017 Special Edition Double Cab Tundra for $369 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Halftime at Toyota Field, San Antonio FC and Real Monarchs SLC leveled at 1 apiece. Well, earlier this week, San Antonio FC's Diego Restrepo and AJ Ajekwa joined Catholic Ministries Refugee School Impact Program for a cooking class at the San Antonio Food Bank. Part of our Team Up Challenge in Silver and Black Give Back, where they learned how to make healthy smoothies and tacos.
It was a fun afternoon. We came out here to the food bank and help out with some of the kids. It was a good experience to learn other cultures, to see where the kids come from, and spend a couple hours with them and hanging out.
Besides the fact that it's helping kids out, I mean, it's, like I said, it's been a blessing just to help out with the Team Up Challenge and just help kids, just make them smile, make them laugh, things of that sort. And you know, their stories are interesting. I have my own little story myself, but just getting together with the kids has just been a blessing.
It's funny because, you know, they were asking which vegetables were their favorite, and none of the kids said anything about it. So it was good to teach them more about, you know, eating healthy fruits, vegetables.
Nutrition is everything, especially in the San Antonio, just with the heat and everything. You want to hydrate and just make sure you're eating all the right food. What the food bank did was they explained to the kids like the nutrition factors of it, basically like what's good foods to eat, what bad foods to eat, the difference between cholesterol and the difference between calcium and protein and stuff of that sort. So it was all a good experience.
You know, I said it before, one of my passions and dreams is to become a chef once I'm done playing soccer. So it was good to be able to touch the community in both ways, especially being a soccer player. And then, you know, this is not a job for me. This is actually something I want to do, and I'm happy that I was invited for this today.
Diego and AJ showing off their culinary experience. There's the Coyote playing a little goal in the net. Our halftime continues. We'll take a look at the road ahead for San Antonio FC when we return.
Until I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities, and across the nation. Are you ready?
We are officially past the midway point of the 2017 USL season. The first half saw the setting of new records, attendance reach over 1 million, and strong play on the field, highlighting the Fans' Choice Mid-Season Awards. Nominees were chosen for the awards, and the winners were left up to fan vote. Diego Restrepo was voted Goalkeeper of the Year, winning a staggering 59% of the vote. The San Antonio FC goalkeeper started the season as the backup, but stepped in after Matt Cardoni's injury and has racked up 7 clean sheets along the way, to go along with a .39 goals against average and a .862 save percentage. Kyle Smith was voted Defender of the Year, the only Louisville City FC player to play every minute for the club this season. The league's newcomers were recognized in a close vote, but Reno 1868 FC's Chris Wehan just edged out New York Red Bulls 2's Aaron Basulovic for the Fans' Choice Rookie of the Year award by 0.1%. Wehan is tied for the league lead in assists with 7, while Basulovic has yet to come off the field for New York Red Bulls 2, passing at an 84% accuracy rate. Chandler Hoffman claimed the title of Fans' Choice MVP. Hoffman has tallied 11 goals and 5 assists and found himself as the lone player in the top 5 in the league in both categories. Hoffman, along with head coach Briggs, have helped lead Real Monarchs SLC to the best record in the league, a feat that earned Briggs the Fans' Choice Mid-Season Award for Coach of the Year. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome to Corner Store. How can we help?
Well, I'm thirsty.
We have juice, teas, and over 100 ways to create your drink with our Coca-Cola Freestyle.
Wow, that's a lot of drinks.
Need a boost? We've got fresh coffee and great deals on energy drinks.
That's cool and hot.
Ready to relax? Check out our craft beer and wine selection.
Classy.
How else can we help?
That's it. I'll just take these. Thanks.
Don't forget the milk!
We're your juice, tea, soda, coffee, energy drink, beer, wine, milk, and more store. We're fresh and friendly. We're Corner Store.
Hey, buddy. Hello.
Sometimes the best searches are done without hashtags. Toyota Tundra. Built here, lives here.
Right now, qualified lessees can lease a fun and capable new 2017 Special Edition Double Cab Tundra for $369 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Look for the silver door, Timmy. All right, here we go. Timmy! What is this place? Welcome to the Spurs Retirement Club. This is nice.
Here we have all-you-can-eat H-E-B Prime 1 steaks.
Awesome.
And here's your monogram steak, sir. Cooked to perfection.
Plus an unlimited supply of Creamy Creations ice cream. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
H-E-B Prime 1, just like they serve in the finest restaurants.
Gotta crank this party up a notch.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
Thanks again so much for joining us tonight, along with Christopher Sullivan and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you along here on this Saturday evening. Well, it was billed as a matchup of the top two teams in the USL, and even though San Antonio FC has dipped to third of the Western Conference, they've been running neck and neck with Real Monarchs SLC all season long, and they've been kind of running neck and neck with them so far here in the first half.
For the first 45, but they haven't disappointed it. I thought it was a commanding first 35 minutes for Darren Powell's San Antonio FC. When you look at the possession, they had the upper hand, but they're also coming from deeper positions in defensive phases, very commanding. You look at the patterns of play, the movements. Billy Forbes, for me, has been the most outstanding player. Reed has struck that equilibrium that you look for in balance at the two-way traffic, and they catch a great goal. Unfortunately, they gave up a goal right away thereafter. So disappointing from that standpoint. Didn't miss a clip in my eyes. I thought that they're still commanding on the front foot. Should be a great second 45.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights, and it was San Antonio FC that got on the board first after missing an opportunity earlier on with A.J. Jankwa. This is a great play by Billy Forbes.
Well, we highlighted Moberg. I mean, he's a player that I watched when he was playing in college. You see the opening of the hips here from Vega. Very clever. Great players always do this. Knows that he's not going to beat the keeper with power, so he beats him with deception. Golazo, in my eyes, right there. Then right away you see the entry pass. This is what Chandler Hoffman does extremely well. Puts himself in a position in between the two central defenders, picks up a foul, ice in the veins right here, cool as a cucumber, steps up and finishes it, places it, pulls him right back into the match.
Left-footed striker went to the right post. 1-1 after 45 minutes. Here are the first half numbers. We said pretty level game, and it's pretty level in just about all the important categories to this point.
Well, I think that Real Monarchs will be happy coming in at ones, and that's why you saw the elation after the equalizing goal, because for me, I thought San Antonio was far more commanding in this first 45, but that's the way the pendulum swings in these type of games. It's going to be amazing second 45.
We'll see what happens. Second half coming up from Toyota Field. After this, Mission City Firm looking for a big 3 points tonight. Second half coming up.
I'm not the type to say any of this mushy garbage. You know what? I'm going for it. You are completely and utterly awesome. I'm glad you showed up. In my life.
I think I'm about to cry. You better not.
Every single time I get down, you always have
My back. My back.
It's really hard to describe. It's like all these tiny little things. Yes, things are actually friendship.
Little ideas can turn into big dreams. Big dreams require careful planning and the right partner. A partner dedicated to helping you take care of your employees, protect your business, and plan for the future. It's sometimes overwhelming. It's often exciting. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
Visit your local Toyota dealer today. We get set for the second half at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC and Real Monarchs SLC are leveled at 1 apiece. Devin Vega in the 28th minute, followed by Chandler Hoffman for the visitors on a penalty in the 32nd minute. And that was the goal scoring in the first half of play, and we'll see what comes up in the second half. Real Monarchs SLC already has used one substitute, Chase Minter, coming on for the injured Andrew Brody. That was in the 22nd minute. There's Kyle Karinga, who set the tone for this game one way or the other in the opening minute, and him and Billy Forbes had a little bit of altercation. And that Karinga, well, you make the call whether he embellished a little bit after the fact. And
a little?
I said you make the call. I'm trying to be a little level up here.
Right.
Connor Sparrow along with James Moberg as they discuss things here, getting set for the start of the second half. Here's what we were talking about. This was in the opening minute of the match. Little push from Karinga.
Come on. Mamma mia. Di Maria.
What was you said? Shot out of a cannon for San Antonio FC's offense against Phoenix? Like Karinga was shot out of a cannon there.
And I'm sure he's a good
Shot
player.
by a
you know,
cannon.
But yeah, absolutely, a sniper. But you know, if you're coaching, if you're Mark Briggs, obviously you have a word with the player and say, hey, look, that's once every 2 years. You can do something silly like that, but that's not for professional football.
We mentioned Diego Restrepo is in the running for the Golden Glove Award as the league's best keeper. There you see it, .45 the goals against average. Including tonight's goal, he has only conceded 6 of them this year. In fact, San Antonio FC has only conceded 9 goals this year through their first 19 matches, so it's been really something to marvel overall for San Antonio FC, their overall defensive approach this year.
Yeah, and I think he's a complete keeper. He's a leader, positional sense, commanding in the box. When they have the run of play or possession and that one opportunity against the run of play, you have to make an incredible save. He's there. He has that in spades, you know, and also 7 of the 10 clean sheets comes through the hands of Diego Restrepo. It's nice to know that you have that in the back.
Well, there'll be no clean sheet tonight for either Restrepo or Connor Sparrow after each club gets on the board in the first half. You mentioned Real Monarchs SLC would be pleased going to the half level at 1. I'm sure you're curious as I am how they'll approach this second half, especially being on the road here tonight.
Yeah, well, I think that they got a little bit more aggressive and comfortable trying to nick a goal the last 10 minutes. And part of that was because Castillo, as good as he was in the first half, for me, I thought he was so instrumental. Vega and Castillo separated defensively.
Nice turn by Tierpak, and he'll earn the foul. And he'll also earn the caution.
You know, if I'm talking to Tierpak, and it's getting a little bit aggressive down there between a few of the midfielders. You see the physicality, the mind games being played, but Tierpak's a player you want to get behind. Watch the turn right here, how fluid and how effortless he is as far as the starting position and pulling diagonally into the middle of the field.
Lakowecki in the 46th minute with a yellow card. There's that turn by Tierpak, caught him flat-footed, and you know, the Real Monarchs SLC defenders have had their hands on the jerseys a few times tonight for San Antonio FC.
Yeah, what's interesting is the officiating he's let that go. He hasn't come back and given it a card, you know, so it's very much that type of game.
Jaquo gets up under this one, and boy, it nearly went off Moberg and ended up in the net. Moberg was especially lucky right there.
Again, like we said, not a natural center back right there. Difficult to cope with for Moberg. Great little surprise diagonal ball played in between the 2 center backs there from the left side of Greg Cochran.
So Jaquo was trying to get under that one in the area. And now Real Monarchs SLC with the wind at their back here in the second half, looking to go over the top a little bit. Rafa Castillo. Return it to Diego Restrepo. Very confident with the ball. McCarthy kind of getting in a little bit of trouble here, trying to go back across the pitch. Will turn into a throw-in.
That starts with the feet of Rafa Castillo. You can't just pass the buck and try to go back to Restrepo. You have better mobility than that. Take the responsibility, not put that pressure on your defenders.
Ibiaga steps up. Lakowecki with the move forward. Haber to the outside. Good service into the box by Lakowecki. Trying to get forward there was Chase Minter in a battle with Greg Cochran, and Cochran won the battle there. Moberg heads this one forward. Michael Reed.
Yeah, Michael Reed playing phenomenal. That little exit pass out of the back, then to intervene and pull up in the midfield.
Tierpak in space.
Unlucky. I mean, the first cut, little hatchet chop. His entry touch, again, is more positive. He's on the front foot. He's touched the ball now 3 or 4 times at the beginning of the second half, but then you look for the conclusion, right? The quality of what you do when you're in the attacking third.
3 goals, 3 assists for Tierpak. This is his 17th appearance and 16th start, coming over from Swell Park Rangers a year ago where he had 7 goals. Big part of San Antonio's counterattack offense this year, opposite of Billy Forbes. Maybe two of the best attacking wing midfielders in the USL. Castillo. There's a great run upfield for Cochran. Forbes stay outside the area, now trying to cut against 3 defenders, and he could not split that defense.
Again, that ball that was cleared, Michael Reed should not be recuperating the ball, but he's still winning it. He's 1 against 3. The work rate has been phenomenal, the anticipation, the positional sense. So as we highlighted before the game, Dan, he's so critical and fundamental in this particular game. Recovering those balls in advanced positions, pinning down Real Monarchs in sustaining that momentum in attack.
Castillo. Pressure coming. Cochran. Back to Rafa. There's Moberg. Nice touch
Great
by Billy
touch.
Forbes. Keeping this one alive. Billy still going forward.
Try
Couldn't
to
slip that one through.
Yeah.
There's Reed on the recovery again.
Yep, he's going to pick this up. You know who he looks like? You know, the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes, the way he's recovering the ball, a little bit like Michael Carrick. You know, very similar. Same body posture.
Boy, he will love that compliment.
Yep. Well, I mean it. I mean, he's played very well with his feet. I think Michael Carrick's probably a foot taller. But football-wise, you know, the balance, the way he sees the field, the speed and transfer of the feet. Great ball.
Tierpak. Jakwa is a little bit too much leg on that one.
Yeah, and I think that one you're not trying to connect to Jakwa's head, looking for the snap header. If you look at the feet, you know, you keep the play alive, and you got Billy Forbes coming in at an angle behind. But again, higher pressure, 3/4 of the field, looking to pin in Real Monarchs. A little bit different composition than what we saw in the first half, a little bit more aggressive as well.
Sebastian Ibiaga, who was up for midseason MVP. Don't see that often from a center back, let alone a defender. But boy, he's had an unbelievable season to this point. And there's Castillo creating a little bit of havoc on the outside. Connor Sparrow will come back and pick up his defense. Reed as it's stripped. Play on, says the referee. Stepping up into the play, Hanlon. Haber in the area. And there'll be a corner here for Real Monarchs SLC.
Well, you see here Real Monarchs extremely impressive on this counter. Getting multiple players incorporated into the attack, right to left, relaying the ball and linking through. Much more dangerous in a collective sense as well.
This will be their first corner of the match. San Antonio FC the last few weeks in USL play, they've been conceding 8, 9, 10 corners a match, so some good job defensively by San Antonio FC. Stephen McCarthy was given a yellow card just a moment ago here. It's his 6th of the season. Charlie Adams taking the corner. Cleared away from Danger stepping up. And Billy Forbes again skies this one just to our left. Now Adams is a little slow to recover off the pitch.
Well, you see what happens, and Mark Briggs is asking for that little elbow follow through as he comes and clears the ball.
Haber trying to volley that one along to himself. Restrepo! Well, he lost it. Now he'll get back under it quickly. And bobbled it for a moment, but was able to recover. McCarthy quickly pushing forward here in the 54th minute. Flag on Rafa Castillo.
But I think, you know, a moment ago we saw Michael Reed uncharacteristically being dispossessed, and it was this player Chase Minter. That was the play that he made an angle run. For me, that was the most dangerous sequence. And the last few matches you see is extremely wide on that right side. They're pushing him forward. If Real Monarchs are going to come into this game, if they're going to catch him on the counter, I think it's going to come through this player. He possesses that explosive acceleration. He's got the vision. He can connect and link up. So I think it's imperative that Cochran keeps close in the vicinity and they make sure they squeeze him, because look at Reed. They're playing with 4. He's deep lying midfield, and then he's pulling Castillo back right now, because that coordination, cohesiveness that we saw in the first 30 minutes between Vega and Castillo is starting to separate.
This is going to be another corner here for Real Monarchs SLC. The offside flag actually went up across the field on AJ Ajekwa, not on Rafa Castillo. You saw Rafa was pretty visibly upset. Sure. He was not offside. Ajekwa over back on the near flank was the man who was offside. So they had to kind of let Rafa know and settle him down. Second straight corner here for Real Monarchs SLC, and it's Charlie Adams once again, who just a moment ago took it over by the left corner stick. Now he's over the right corner stick. 60-year player, 23-year-old from London, and will do the corner again. Charlie Adams played also at Louisville City a couple of years ago, played in Brentford in England as part of their academy. On the set piece, another short in-swing. And again, Billy Forbes was able to clear that one away. It's rare you'll see Billy get the clearance on a corner. That's twice on the balls delivered by Charlie Adams. Nice job by Forbes as he wins the ball away. And now Billy off to the races. And then he's run over from behind, and
no foul.
No foul.
Yeah, poor
Darren Powell is irate,
yeah,
running the sideline, giving it to Kyle Phillips, the fourth referee.
For good reason. I mean, from my vantage point here, it looked like a clear chop across the waist. We'll go back and take a look at that, but a few of the, and you can see Darren Powell animated there with the fourth official. You see the replay. Watch this slash. This is after he's won it. He's going to just slash across the body right. Yeah, I mean, it's body to body. He's within the neighborhood. The central referee, Mendoza, he doesn't call it. For me, I definitely give that as a foul.
Well, especially because of the momentum moving forward, too. There's one thing if you're stationary, but if you're pushing forward on the attack, you'd almost think that's going to be called 9 out of 10 times. And maybe there was the one time it didn't get called. And by a very late offside flag that went up. Again, I think it was a Ajekwa maybe.
Yeah. Look at the quick restart here again at the feet of Minter, as I talked about. Watch as he dips into the inside. Now, the last few matches I watched him play, he was playing from the left. So I like the fact that they're using him on his offside right there, and he can dip on his left foot.
Lakawecki, Haber. Hanlon won't get to this one. Cyprian Hedrick. Learn a throw in for San Antonio FC. We haven't talked a lot about the captain for Real Monarchs SLC tonight. That's number 43, Nick Bessler. He plays in that same holding midfield role that Michael Reed does. And Bessler's got some soccer genes in his family. Younger brother Matt Bessler's center back for Team USA.
Team, national team, yeah,
four-time MLS All-Star with Sporting Kansas City. Cochran. Nice ball to Castillo. And a better ball, Billy Forbes. Into the area, Forbes looking for Ajekwa.
But I think that was a fantastic recovery run right there. I thought Ajekwa paused and hesitated. He wanted to see if Forbes was going to look to go one-on-one, and there was just that pregnant pause of thinking too much. Watch this little flick on here from Castillo. Beautiful little touch. Excellent, elegant, exquisite touch right there. He's coming at full speed, and now he's looking for that run, and I think that Jacob missed the timing. It was just and you see the frustration right there, hesitation.
Did he make the right decision? Would you have liked to see him shoot from that angle?
No, I think that if he put himself in the position, he thought that he was actually going to run 3-4 yards in advanced position and look for that, but maybe he should have.
Sparrow parries this one away after San Antonio FC are in their third corner of the match, and this one gets away from Michael Reed.
Well, we highlighted Billy Forbes at halftime, saying certainly he was probably one of the top performers, and he's got, you see the energy that he has in the tank. So, I mean, the speed, separation speed between the defenders, it's a clear mismatch. If you're coaching this player, you're asking him, hey, 10, 12, 15 times, just keep going until you find the equalizer. I mean, the go-ahead goal.
If you're going to beat the best team in USL, you've got to capitalize on the opportunities that they give you. And maybe that's twice now that San Antonio FC has not been able to execute on that last touch. McCarthy, still momentum and control for San Antonio here as Cochran will push forward with Forbes in the vicinity. As Greg will swing back to the inside before turning back to the outside.
It's well done. And I think if you're Darren Powell, what's going through your mind is that touch and that beautiful, exquisite ability to split the defense the way that Castillo did. You want to keep him in because he plays an influential, instrumental part, right, of capitalizing and finding those goals that you can generate. But at the same time, for midfield coverage, you know, you got to think about the legs have to be tiring, fatigue is setting in. How do you make sure that you stay compact and tight and cohesive in the midfield with Vega, Castillo, and also Reed? So will we see a sub in that position or up top for Jacob?
We did see Mark Briggs use his second substitute of the match, takes out Karsten Hanlon and puts in Reagan Dunk, the native of Dallas, Texas. And here's what's great about the USL. Reagan Dunk was Real Salt Lake's first-round draft pick, 13th overall in this past MSL Super Draft.
Great ball.
Tierpak. Another deep ball. This is Rafa Castillo.
It's a little too heavy. You see the frustration from Vega. You have three players that are hitting that, you know, inside channel, and again, it gets played over the top. I'd like to see Tierpak slash that back on his left foot and actually drag across the top of the area and invent from that position. Be less predictable. He's got that talent. We've seen him do it. He's phenomenal at dribbling, and if he gets a little more central in that interior, he's going to be more dangerous.
So Reagan Dunk is on here for his 5th appearance of the season. Made it at the University of Denver.
He won't have any problem with the Texas heat, right?
No, he won't.
He's from Dallas.
Used to a 23-year-old. His blood probably got a little bit thinner playing at altitude in Denver over the last 4 years. Soccer fans, Nike's an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. We're through the first hour of the match, 62nd minute, about to cross over to the 63rd. San Antonio FC got on the board. And Devin Vega scored, as my partner called it, a golazzo, a beautiful one in the 28th minute to give the home side the 1-0 edge. But Chandler Hoffman came right back on a penalty in the 32nd minute to level the game at 1 apiece, and that is where we stand here. 28 minutes or so remaining. Moberg back to play this one. Vega coming with some pressure. Moberg goes over the top of Cochran. Ibiaga volleys this one directly up into the air. There's Minter again trying to be a little bit of a presence upfield. Ajekwa. Nice ball for Vega. To the outside. Little screen play put on by Tierpak. Vega.
Great ball.
Michael Reed. Just over goal.
Not a bad breakout. You see from the right side. I like the improvisation from Vega. Look, he's got an angle. He's trying to play that at the feet. Well cut out right there with the recovery, defensive movement. And this is more, you're looking for precision. He's trying to, you're not going to beat Sparrow there from that distance. with that lack of pace.
Ibiaga serves it back.
Reed's been great, though. I mean, the work that he's done in Italy, they say gioca per due, gioca per tre, like N'Golo Kanté. He plays for 3 players, and tonight Reed's playing for 2 or 3 players. And when you have a player that can hold the midfield and anchor the way that he does, then that frees up Vega and Castillo to get forward. So you're playing with 2 creative attacking midfielders. It's fantastic if you can pull it off. And the players enjoy it. That's the best way to play football.
We highlighted Reed and Ibiaga at the top of the broadcast, and for good measure, they have certainly proven their worth here tonight. Ajekwa concedes possession there.
Well, the turn was great again. He's looking for a call after the fact. You talked about it earlier. You're highlighting. You see Darren Powell say, "Get on with it. Continue." You gotta continue to insist right there. You see that Real Monarchs squeezing a little bit more. The 2 lines of 4 are tighter. Great ball.
And Ajek was onside. AJ! What an outstanding save by the goalkeeper, Connor Sparrow. They have exploited that left side beautifully there.
Absolutely wonderful splitting ball right there. I was surprised that it wasn't offsides. And then you see this fantastic, phenomenal run as well, and you wonder if he's going to hesitate. He's going at full speed right there. There's the diagonal. He elects not to link up and tries to beat the keeper. Now he's been whiplashed from the last time. Great run right there you see on the inside.
He went right back off of Ajekwa at the final touch, and what should have been a corner ended up back into a goal kick. An unlucky break for San Antonio FC, but boy, have they exploited that left side a few times tonight. And AJ Ajekwa, man, has he been in the vicinity of a lot of dangerous opportunities. Lekowecki to the outside. Chandler Hoffman. And Michael Reed sending it forward. Ajekwa missed times. Real Monarchs SLC back on the attack. Charlie Adams, nice ball ahead. Haber.
Unlucky. Ajekwa, just to talk about this player up top, when you're playing like a 4-2-3-1 and you're that one, like Samuel Eto'o played for so many years in Barcelona, it could put 1 year could be like 5 years of playing football because you got to run so much. I'm very impressed with the work ethic.
Well, you think of the 2 maybe biggest positions on your team in the lineup. Your goalkeeper and your number 9.
Yes.
And San Antonio FC has lost both their starting keeper and their starting number 9 in Matt Cardoni and Cesar Elizondo. And the 2 players who have come in to fill the role, they haven't missed a beat.
Well, these 2 could start on any team in the league, without a doubt, in my eyes. And both of them, for me, are players that can play in MLS. I'm a little bit different. I always build my teams from the pulse of the midfield. That number 6, that number 8, that number 10. If you have the midfield composition right, whether it's a Pekka and Reed or, Reed, Vega, Castillo, if you have that right and you can dominate the midfield, then the peripheral around, obviously it's great to have a number 9 and it's great to have a keeper. But, up the axis of the field, I'm always put the biggest emphasis on those midfielders because they control the rhythm of the game. They're the quarterbacks.
Rafa Castillo here on the free kick. Nice delivery into the area. Tierpak! 2-1 San Antonio FC! In the 68th minute, Chris Tierpak has broken the tie, and San Antonio FC is back ahead.
That's the thumping goal that they needed in San Antonio. You could see the elation invigorated the coach. Great in-swinger. You look at the pace and tempo, earmarked at that bat. Ibiaga does the justice, comes through with a snap-down header. Just slides by Ajekwa, and then who's at the back door? Right here, Tierpak, Golazo, through the legs, little tunnel, little bridge, doesn't matter. Fantastic goal.
How about Ibiaga climbing the ladder there to get to that ball through 3 players to set it up for Tierpak. San Antonio FC, for the first time since scoring 3 against Tulsa Roughnecks FC, got a crooked number on the scoreboard. Haber. Nice play by Hedrick. Lekowecki.
But I think you look for the response, right? Last time they scored, they gave one, conceded right away. Looks like Castillo getting knocked down there. Can't talk enough about Castillo. His contribution, whether the in-swinging balls on standard situations, tracking back in the first half, the entry passes, slipping those exquisite balls through the defense to Billy Forbes. But right now, if you're coaching 68 minutes, you're up 2-1, you got to look for the third. You don't take your foot off the pedal, because I think it's been a commanding game here from San Antonio FC.
And the foul that was called as Ajekwa again was looking for that third goal. San Antonio FC, after a scoreless first half, as we'll take a look again at Ajekwa in the area trying to create the opportunity. You know, they got that opening goal against OKC Energy FC, and to your point, I thought just a little bit they let up instead of trying to get that second goal. And even though it took until the 4th minute of stoppage time.
Well, you can hear the fans too. They do not want San Antonio to allow Real Monarchs back into the game, Dan. And that's just it. You're playing in 100 degrees, close to 100 degrees heat. You're at home. You've commanded the game. When you look at the process and the body of work of how you played against the first place team in the West, right? It's there for the taking. Why drop off? Why be negative and be conservative? You got to continue to play that attacking football and really look for the third.
Jake earns the foul there. 20 minutes left in the match. San Antonio FC grabbing a key 2-1 lead over Real Monarchs SLC. Boy, it would be a massive 3 points as we close the gap from 8 to 5 between them and the leaders in the Western Conference table. And here's another opportunity. Rafa Castillo, almost the exact same spot where San Antonio FC just scored a moment ago. Again, look out for Ibeagha. There he is right there in the area and try to get under this ball. He did the last time. Castillo again. This ball just eludes Devin Vega.
He puts in some good service, huh? The distribution from Castillo. And you wonder how much he has. Could he see out the 90 minutes? And Mark Briggs, obviously, he'd love to have Sebastian Velasquez or Bofo Salcedo. Those are two players who play with the first team. Velasquez is injured. Jose Hernandez, another one who's with the first team, the UCLA great little midfielder, but hasn't really broken into either team at Real Salt Lake.
Darren Powell has stayed with his 11 from the start. And they've been very good tonight.
Yep. No, I said it in first half. You know, for me, it's more impressive than the game they played against Phoenix FC 2 months ago. You can see the potency of Real Monarchs here. I think what's done a disservice for them and maybe has thrown them off a little bit is fantastic.
Nice run by Vega.
Pass.
It's got Forbes, but a little bit too much out of control for Devin trying to push forward there.
I think the gulf in quality between the last two opponents that they've played in Salt Lake City, that being OKC, and also, more importantly, Seattle. They play with a lot of academy kids. They won 4-1. It was too easy. It was a walk in the park. Now you come up against a hungry, motivated, focused San Antonio FC, and it's been difficult for them to cope.
Hedrick. This one easily cleared away.
Well done.
Haber. Kawecki. His keeper. Tierpak.
Oh, well done.
And
fantastic
corner.
Second effort there from Tierpak. So effortless and smooth on his cutting and moving the way that he approaches the ball. You see Darren Powell. He wants to get the numbers right, how they balance, who they send into the area on this corner. Looks like they'll keep Greg Cochran back along with Michael Reed.
Fourth corner store corner kick of the match for San Antonio FC. Looking for their third goal of the match. Shorter delivery by Castillo this time. Now the counter for Real Monarchs SLC, but again, Greg Cochran getting in front of Chase Minner. And breaks up that counter as Lakawecki will come over to get the ball. Hedrick, Ibiaga. Lakawecki over Tierpak on the header upfield. Reed. We'll go back to Restrepo. 75th minute at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC pushing forward. Ajekwa. James Moberg intercepts. Collision. Boy, they are really letting him continue on here in the second half. Hedrick. Foul from behind by Minter.
And I think at this point, it's important. You can see Mark Briggs animated with the fourth official. Think he's not getting the calls. But more importantly, if you're Darren Powell, you got to have a word with your players. There's no reason to go back to your keeper. As you mentioned before, you got to make sure that you're going forward in the front foot and pinning back Real Monarchs. When you see the options, thin slice, choose the attacking option. And what I mean by that is force your opponent to be able to have to go 80 plus yards to create an attacking opportunity to score.
Castillo, the in-swing delivery. Cleared away from the 6-yard box. Restrepo. Took Chase Minner the other way. Charlie Adams. A little bit of space. Haber. Nice challenge there from Hedrick, and they just worked the ball away, and Haber.
And again, Mendoza is being true to his form with the no calls that he's made, because that could easily have been a foul.
Castillo, Ajekwa, flag goes up.
What about that yellow back there? What about that yellow? Retaliation!
We got about 8,000 referees in the house.
Well, you talk about letting plays go. Here's an opportunity. There's a slash back. There's a clear scissor and a clip right in front of Mendoza. He's letting that go, and then he lets it react. Hey, come on. This is like a 7-on-7 training match.
They'll call the hold.
But players will play the game that they're in, right? If the ref's going to allow that to go, they're going to take advantage of what they can get away with.
There's Besler with his arm around Tierpak. San Antonio FC.
One thing I do see in the last 5-6 minutes, Dan, is Mark Briggs is really pushing those midfielders to get behind and try to support on the attack. He's trying to pull in, attack, get more aggressive. So those entry passes into Billy Forbes, into Castillo, into Ajekwa are going to be fundamental. It's so imperative right now to get that right.
And I think San Antonio FC, we're going to have a trainer come out here, because Charlie Adams went down, viciously colliding there with Rafa Castillo. It wasn't Adams, he's right there.
Where's the hurry? Kids down.
There's Lakawecki up there with Tierpak. That's Lakawecki who's right now being treated on the pitch. Tierpak, who you notice wears that headgear, along with Stephen McCarthy. That, of course, is because of concussion-related injuries that both have suffered in their careers. That has, of course, been now coming to the forefront of so many sports, soccer included. There's the head collision between Tierpak and Lakawecki is now to his sitting position as his tier pack.
And I think when you look at the player that Tierpak is, he wants the ball at his feet. So a majority of the time you want to locate him at his feet wide, right, from a wide starting position. But again, you can't emphasize enough what he brings to the party. In the second half, I think that he's increased that tempo as we see Elizondo come into the game for Tierpak.
Cesar Elizondo in the 79th minute. We have not seen him since May. Dealing with a lower body injury for an awfully long time, but he suffered on that Cascadia road trip back in late April. Missed a couple of games, came back for one.
You had to go back in the database for that one. It's been a while, huh? But he's wearing that heavy shirt, the number 10, and what a time to introduce a number 10 into your lineup. 10 minutes left into the game, so you look for that quality in decision making and technique.
So he comes on in the 79th minute for Chris Tierpak, who had a fantastic game. Most notably, of course, the go-ahead goal for San Antonio FC that he scored in the 68th minute. I think we can say unequivocally that is San Antonio FC's first set-piece goal of the season, coming off that free kick by Rafa Castillo.
Well done.
Elizondo, first touch of the match, Castillo. Devin Vega.
Oh, great ball.
Turned wide by Billy Forbes. And a lot more aggressive on the attack tonight for San Antonio FC, particularly for those crosses into the box coming from the outside.
That one was ever so close right there. You see Billy Forbes trying to get that front foot down so he can redirect it and snap it at the far post. Vega put all the pace and tempo on that cross. Good precision as well. I'd like to see a second or third runner on those breakouts.
Real Monarchs SLC on the counter here. On the outside there was the rookie Reagan Dunk. He's unable to get a ball through. Cochran.
Yep.
Vega with the turnover.
Careful.
Back into the box. Oh, it's nicely slipped in. Nice job there by Hedrick. Out top. Minter's chance. Blocked aside.
Well, it looks like Darren Powell's going to bring a sub in right now. He's yelling, screaming, get over here, because they've lost the balance on that last sequence.
Charlie Adams. Haber. For Minter.
Offsides. I'll tell you, Minter, for me, he started in the last two games. Since he's come into the game and been introduced, for me, he's a starter. He's more dangerous. Had an opportunity to make a hit at that back post right there. But again, the balance was totally off. Rafa Castillo and Vega were too high. Billy Forbes stayed high. The back four were exposed. There was only four. They committed, maybe Real Monarchs committed 6-7 players into the attack. You have to be defensively responsible.
Elizondo slips it for Ajekwa. Again, the flag up on AJ. Sign up to play like the pros, presented by Toyota. Be entered to win a chance to participate in Toyota Field Day. San Antonio FC players and coaches, visit toyotafieldday.com. Maxi Rodriguez will give his number the fourth official as he gets set to enter the match. Ajekwa. Elizondo, can he make the turn? He can. Sparrow is there on the pitch for the save.
But I think it's Vega who's coming out, and again, that makes sense. Here, a little handball picked up from Reed. I thought that he was clipped, but again, Vega has been phenomenal into the attack. What he's done, getting on those right sectors of the field and crosses. But defensively, they almost conceded an opportunity where it was 3 against 1, 3 against 2, and you can't allow that. Make sure that you shut up shop in the midfield. It's been a great performance from this young player, and you see the coach applauding.
He has one of San Antonio FC's 2 goals. Got him started in the 28th minute. Nearly served up another one later on in the match. Vega comes out after tallying his 3rd of the year, and on is Maxi Rodriguez for the 9th time this season. And again, when you're 18 years old and your professional career is at your infancy, man, oh man, what are you thinking, you know, when you've got so much ahead of you with that much talent?
Well, the other thing is Vega doesn't have to carry the game because he's playing with a Ferrari on the left and Billy Forbes, right? He's got Tierpak, he's got a Jake up front. Behind him and beside him, he has a player like Castillo. When you have those peripheral players, you just put your touch on the game. And I think that it's a phenomenal composition that Darren Powell has put together. You know, I talked to many people in MLS since the last game I did with you. And individually, you know, you look at this team, and I love the way they play. They could compete at a very high level against MLS clubs.
Gallagher. As we approach the 86th minute, and to your point before, since the Tierpak goal, I think San Antonio FC has continued to press and continued the attack. They have not sat back. They have really not conceded much in the way of opportunity for a team that has 41 goals on the season. There's Minter. He's got a little bit of space here now. To the outside, Karinga.
For me, I think Minter's been the best player for Monarchs, so to speak, since he's come into the game. The way he's slashing, looking for the ball, putting players into attacking positions. So he's really the most dangerous threat. Look at the balls he's playing there.
Lakawecki levels the game at 2 on the header past Diego Restrepo in the 86th minute.
Well, the player that I said was most dangerous creates the goal. Minter starts from the left side, ends up on the right after a quick exchange, short combination, drives the ball, just clips it with incredible pace, beats the back 4 and a snap header from Lakawecki. Amazing goal right there, and you can see the explosion of celebration on the bench from Mark Briggs. Look at this ball that's played in right there. Wonderful timing, impeccable precision, and a fantastic goal. And wonderfully orchestrated from this young player right there, Chase Minter.
That's Lakawecki's 2nd goal in as many games.
That's right, he scored in
for Real Monarchs or SLC. Scored it 2 weeks ago in that game against Seattle. That's a fullback, back-to-back games with a goal. And again, San Antonio FC concedes late in the match. Throw in for Real Monarchs SLC here now. And now, for San Antonio FC, still one substitute on the bench if they were to choose. Kind of took Vega out on a defensive role for Maxi Rodriguez going in.
Yeah,
still got fresh legs, though, with Elizondo in there.
I think the balance of San Antonio has changed a little bit, you know, and obviously we said that they got to continue with the attacking initiative. I'm surprised that, you know, some of the midfielders that are in there that are playmakers, but they lack that defensive, you know, cohesion that you look for to shut down and shut up shop. And at the same time, when you look at Mark Briggs, it talks about the potency of this team. You know, a commanding performance from San Antonio FC, but yet they're in the game at 2-2.
The last time San Antonio FC conceded 2 goals in a match, April 25th in Seattle.
Wow.
Now remember, they had only conceded 8 all season. So this is 25% of their entire total allowed in less than 90 minutes.
Well, you're playing against a team that scored 40-plus goals, now 42 in the 18th game. You got to make sure in those little swings of possession in the defensive phases that you get the chemistry correct, right? And the balance and defensive shape. And I think on a few times they were fortunate not to concede, and they got caught.
Another offside flag, again on a Jakwa.
And I think this one was a delayed call right here. Jakwa looked on to me when this was clipped across. But again, you see Darren Powell talking to Castillo to get back. There's the first time switch, he's even. They were hard done on that call.
Right, that's about 10 offside calls on San Antonio FC tonight. So as we get set to cross into the 90th minute here, against San Antonio FC, conceded in the 4th minute of stoppage time in the second half last Friday against OKC Energy FC. Even though it was a draw, a lot of the players, it felt like a loss. Tonight, they concede in the 86th minute. And again, you wonder, after taking a 2-1 lead, even if they walk out of here with 1 point, there's still a lot of time left in the match. What will the emotions of this night feel like for Darren
It's a tough
Powell
one. I commend them for continuing to attack. I think that what was their strongest element of the game actually hamstrung them defensively. When that separation of midfielders, and Reed was kind of isolated himself.
Minter, get under this one. Good first touch, slips it into the box. Ibiaga. A corner here coming up for Real Monarchs SLC. It'll be their 3rd of the evening. Chandler Hoffman will come out here in the 90th minute. Jonel Desiree, a Haitian native.
And I think the one surprise here, Dan, is that, you know, we're not talking about Sebastian Velasquez, who's one of the top players in USL, clearly. Their leader, he wasn't able to play. He's injured tonight. You know, a player like Bofo Salcedo, who plays with the first team, he comes down, or Jose Hernandez. So impressive to even stay in this game with such a commanding performance from San Antonio.
4 minutes of added time here in the second half, so time still to go. And we'll do the corner again as the substitution had completely been completed. Charlie Adams will take it. Again, it's only the 3rd of the match for Real Monarchs SLC. We're in stoppage time here. Max Lakowecki with the equalizer in the 86th minute. Charlie Adams, Restrepo climbing the ladder. San Antonio FC is able to find the back of the net twice tonight. First time they've scored multiple goals in a game since June 17th. They scored 3 against Tulsa here at Toyota Field. They also concede multiple goals for the first time at home and for the first time since April 25th. And here's that man Minter again. As he puts the brakes on. Didn't do well with that one. And that's probably one where he hasn't done great with tonight.
He hasn't done. He reminds me of Eddie Lewis, the way he, you know, those in-swingers, a player that played with me in San Jose. But for me, Minter is a player that should be in the top 11, and they should be looking at the first team in MLS. He's dynamic, he's quick, he's incisive with his movements in attack, and that's what you look for.
Cochran! Why, what a save there by Connor Sparrow in stoppage time. As Cochran caught him napping there on the left flank. Charlie Adams. Couple of minutes left in the match. Offside, Desiree.
And you see that little geometric, they got a cadre of players around Reed right now, so they're starting to recover and equal out those recoveries in the midfield that he was enjoying the last, 20-plus minutes of the second half.
Maxi Rodriguez. Jakwa now on the left flank. Serves it back. Cochran. McCarthy. Switch ends. Hedrick.
Forbes.
Billy trying to make a move to the outside, to the box.
Beautiful. And I like this. Anytime you break the pattern and change it up, you got Billy Forbes on the right now, Jakwa on the left, looking any way that you can get a little variation in attack.
San Antonio FC's 5th corner store corner kick of the evening. Boy, this would be a time to break the goose egg on corner kick goals, or lack thereof. Castillo. Cleared away.
It puts in a great ball, Castillo.
Rafa, nifty move. Back into the area.
Unlucky. You see that little drag opening the hips, puts him in the popcorn machine. He goes up in the air, but he just couldn't locate the second runner. Good football.
Sparrow gets under this one. Not a lot of time left. Maybe one last charge here for Real Monarchs SLC. Ray can't make the run on this one. That will do it. You mentioned a word a couple of times tonight, unlucky. I feel like San Antonio FC deserved better, and they're going to walk out of here tonight against the top team in the Western Conference.
Well said. Well, I mean, it was a great night of football, and you got to give credit to Real Monarchs. Briggs was able to make the changes in the second half. I think it was more San Antonio allowing them into the game, conceding goals in untimely fashion. But overall, commanding performance, and they show the quality and pedigree of their football to create, to dominate in this play right here. Tierpak with a phenomenal thumping goal. It seemed like it was going to be the winner, but just wasn't quite good enough. Give credit again to Minter. That player, for me, he changed. He was a catalyst in the second half for Real Monarchs.
Tierpak's 4th of the year. Lakawecki, the equalizer in the 86th minute. And this match finishes in a 2-2 draw. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap it up from Toyota Field after this.